I came across this video. I've already watched the entirety of this video, but there's like a certain portion of this video that I want to like watch with you guys, and you'll see numerous videos like this when it comes to Call of Duty. The reason I want to watch this is I want people to understand that the issues that I have with the game isn't issues that just I have. Like I'm not just being a baby back bitch when I complain about the game. This is a well-known thing, and people talk about it. A lot of people who have way bigger platforms than I do. So watch this is the last 9 minutes of this video. It's a 20-minute video, but watch the last 9 minutes of it. Then the last 9 minutes is what I figure, what I feel like is the best to start from Blame Truth, who's been a long time creator in the Call of Duty space. So you look at me, I'm more of like a Halo, Battlefield, Gears of War, and Rainbow Six Siege creator, more so when it comes to like any shooters. So I've been playing Call of Duty forever, but when it comes to content creation, I don't make a lot of Call of Duty content. What I do is just painting pieces. Let's get into this video.
That no one at Call of Duty or Activision actually fucking thinks about. People play solo. Now, in this XDefiant gameplay, this Mike guy here was teabagging at me. Like, he knows who I am, but I'm not partied up with him, and we're not communicating. So this is just me playing solo. And what's interesting about this gameplay, I chose it specifically, is that JMO guy that just killed me is a very good player. I think he is also playing solo. Let me just explain real quick how XDefiant's matchmaking works. And if you guys want to know why I quote-unquote glaze this game, let me just explain this to you and break it down. And again, this is not something that is going to be hard to implement in Call of Duty if they give a fuck and if they care. But let me explain how the matchmaking works in XDefiant. Of course, there's no skill-based matchmaking, but there's also input-based matchmaking. So you can play only
the first thing I'll say when it comes to like that comment about base matchmaking, this isn't strictly an XDefiant thing. Halo actually has input-based matchmaking, and at first you can actually choose. Now I don't think you can choose. Now it's just auto set whatever you have plugged in. So you have a controller plugged in, it detects that, and so it automatically puts you into lobbies of controllers. You have mouse keyboard, it auto detects that, and it puts you in those lobbies. But at first, when Halo Infinite first came out, you could choose. You can literally just choose if you want to like you didn't care, so you can just play with all the inputs. You can put it to where it was only mouse keyboard. You can put it where it was only controller. I'm trying to remember. There was another game that did it too. Like I've already forgot what other game it was, but there was more than one game that does that, where you can choose what inputs that you'll align yourself to play with and play against.
Players, no matter the platform, Xbox, PlayStation 5, PC. If you want to, you can play only controller players. Mouse and keyboard players don't really like to play with us either, our controller aim assist and whatnot. They just do not like that, so they can also do IBMM. Although the game, since it's lost players, and since mouse and keyboard makes up like 10% of the player base, it's harder to find IBMM lobbies with mouse and keyboard only right now. So there is that problem with it. But other than that, pretty good system, right? So far. Here's something else that not a lot of people know, and Mark Rubin tweeted about this and actually informed me about it. I can't find the tweet now because he tweets quite a bit, and this was months ago. But in XDefiant, you match based on party size. That is a factor when matching you. So I play solo, and I'm telling you right now, you can't tell when someone's in a party, like in the lobby or whatever. It's just something you cannot tell with the current UI settings. However, you'll know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll typically know when people are knowing where you're at, even though you're running a suppressor or you're like sneaking around the map or whatever. If they're doing like MLG callouts, you'll know. I'm telling you right now, that has happened to me maybe once ever in XDefiant the entire time I played it. I don't match with full parties on this game. The most I've ever matched against, and I actually checked this dude's stream after to see, was a party of 3. That was it. So a party of 3
me too.
and then 3.
Last time I played XDefiant, you had a game where I definitely noticed those 3 people because they all had like TTV in their name. And after the game, not during the game because we're not a freaking stream sniper. After the game, I actually went to one of their streams to like just confirm they're all together. It's like us all sitting in the freaking lobby together. It was 3 of them, and it's about like essentially talking about how that game went and how they got cooked. So yeah, I've never played an XDefiant game where it was more than 3, at least noticeably. Usually when I play like XDefiant, because I play solo, when I do play, it does kind of seem like I'm playing against a team of also people who are solos or at least at max a duo. Because a lot of them, they don't have. I get a lot of flank kills in XDefiant, and that happens because people aren't communicating, which means they're not, playing in a party.
randoms, and that was all. This game matches you based on party size or whatever. Most of the time, you're going to match with no more than just 2 people partying up. So in that scenario, you get truly diverse lobbies. But see, here's the thing. I'm not just steamrolling because there's still team balancing. So your skill rating in the in your combat record.
That's an important thing to mention, by the way. A lot of people think just because Xdefiant doesn't have SBMM that it doesn't balance based on your skill. It does to a degree. It just won't prioritize it.
Xdefiant, for example, that will determine where you land. Like, it tries to just balance out the skill ratings essentially, roughly, or whatever. You'll still get some blowout games, of course, but overall, you can still get competitive matches where you are not getting beamed by 6 virgin fucking nerds while you're trying to play solo. It's remarkable, isn't it? It's remarkable that this is a thing, but it is. I chose this gameplay specifically because there's another guy on the other team who's really good. He's as good, if not better, than I am. And this is still a super enjoyable game because he's not in a party with clones of himself against just me while I'm carrying thumbless people. You know what I mean? Here's how the teams are in this. It's me and this guy and our team of like kind of average to bad people. And it is fucking fun.
Yeah, when I play Xdefiant, that's a very common thing where it seems like there's 1 or 2 people on each team who's just destroying. Then the rest of the people are kind of like just doing okay. Like if you look at a lot of my Xdefiant videos and ones that show the scoreboard, you'll see like me at the top of my team or second place my team. Everyone else is kind of like just going neutral. You know, like they're going like, 15-15, 15-13, 10-10. Like you'll see stuff like that. People just have an average game. And on the other team, it's kind of the same way where it's like there's the top people are, going crazy, 30 and freaking 2 or 60 and freaking 10, things like that. And then the rest of their team is just, 10-10, 11-11, things like that. Because it's just a balancing. A lot of games where their matchmaking is like I said before, like it balances things out for the rest of the lobby. The game's algorithm feels like if you are a good enough player, you can carry a team. Every game does that. It's not just, this shooter or that shooter, but the way some games do it is different. For example, Call of Duty, they figure if you have one good game, you should be able to carry a team of people who are usually going negative every game. Whereas like Xdefiant, it's like, okay, you had 6 good games. You feel like you're good enough to at least make it competitive for people who are average. So one game takes a good player and puts them in the lobby with their team's all bad. The other game takes a person who's good and put them in a lobby of people who are just average. So there's a higher chance of you at least still having a somewhat fun game where your teammates aren't the reason why you lose. Whereas with like Call of Duty, when that happens, your team can't do anything. And the person who's able to produce is you. And through that, at the same time, now the enemy team is just getting like all their kill streaks, things like that, because they're just slaughtering your team. And also hurts you because, if you're someone who don't run ghosts, for example, you're just going to be on the radar constantly because they're just killing your teammates to get freaking UAVs and harps and whatnot.
This is a super fun match, and you're going to see why at the end of the game, pretty much. It's super close as well, and like this is the competitive I like. I don't mind close matches. I like pulling out the Frieza final form, and trying for the W. I always try for the W. I'm not really much of a player that just plays for KD and Xdefiant. Like, I like to win. This is an objective-based game. I like to win. The maps are set up for it. Like, you can have a competitive match in Xdefiant because these maps are built from the ground up for competitive. I mean, they have Aches on the team who's an ex-COD pro. He's oversees all the competitive stuff. And like that's just how it works, okay? Like Nuketown though, Nuketown guys was made in 2010. Nuketown was made for casual people.
Yeah, so Nuketown being made in 2010. That's like back when competitive wasn't really the mainstay of gaming in general. Like you still had like your MLG games, things like that. But like there's a tonal shift in gaming when Twitch took off, where competitive nature of gamers became the main thing, where everyone wanted to try as if they're doing a tryout for G2 or for 100 Thieves or for Optic or for freaking Ninjas in Pajamas and Team Liquid. So like, even though none of them will ever have a chance to ever play for any of those teams, or if you're playing Rainbow Six, playing Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield, no matter what game you're playing, everyone's playing like they're doing a tryout, like there's money on the line, because they just feel like, you know, they just watch Twitch, and they just like, okay, we all gotta play like that. We all have to do that. We all have to, you know, try our damnedest and not really try to have fun. Like, people won't play classes that they like. They'll play classes that seems, you know, the meta. You know, they won't play the game the way they like. They'll play the game on what seems to give them the best stat line. So let's say people who just camp the entire time, people who use, you know, who sit in corners with shotguns, people who use hacks and things like that. Like, people are just looking for whatever gives them an advantage. It makes the game easier on them, because they don't want to have to, like, because if they die a lot, then they don't have that good stat line to put on social media and be like, look guys, I went freaking, you know, 46 and 15, you know, because they don't want people to think that they're good. So yeah, 2010, when Noob came out, you know, pro gaming wasn't what it is now. Whereas like now everyone wants to freaking be tryhards. So even if a game designs itself to not be competitive, it becomes competitive because everyone wants to be a tryhard.
With no SBMM to play on, and you can't really do that now. Like, it just does not work, especially with what I just described. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to glaze X Defiant. I'm not trying to shit on
Because it has its own
Call of Duty.
This video is about Call of Duty, but he's showing X Defiant his gameplay because he's telling you like what X Defiant does better than Black Ops. X Defiant has his own issues. It has a huge issue with his netcode. But you know, a lot of X Defiant's issues kind of start and stop at the netcode. You know, all the, like, I won't say all, but most of the game maps are very good maps. I just remember like one or two maps that I will say is like, you know, not good. But all the maps other than those two are very, very good. Balancing has gotten better. It's still not great. You still mostly get games like this where everyone's freaking playing Echelon, because Echelon is the best class in the game when you're playing like casual modes. If you're playing a rank, people play Phantoms, but for casual modes, Echelon's the best because, you know, you have the mobile. Yeah, you can turn your body into a radar. You can go invisible. You have, you know, the Splinter Cell pistol that can like one tap you get headshots. Like, there's a lot that they can do for utility purposes to just make them the meta. But for most part, other than netcode, X Defiant tends to be very, very solid. And also look at how the scoreboard looks. Remember how I said you get two people on the top who are doing very good, and everyone else is like pretty much just going even. 9 and 10, this guy gets one or two more kills. He's going, you know, 500. You know, same thing with this guy. He gets a few more kills. There's enough time for him to get some more kills. He's gonna be going even. They got the other team 15-15, 13-12, 12-12. You know, then you have like people who just go complete shit. Yeah, this is every X Defiant lobby. You get two people on the team who are getting kills. Two people who are freaking just going average. Then you get people who are just straight up dumpster fires. Because it's balancing it out. Whereas a Call of Duty, the way it would look would be Blame Truth will be positive, and then everyone else will be negative. J-Mo will be positive, and then everyone else will be negative. And not like 15, well, that's not even negative at all. Not like freaking, like, let's say 14, 15. Like, no, they're going freaking 8 and 20.
Or whatever. But why in the fuck can't we get something as simple as that in the matchmaking, like, priority? Why can't we get, hey, this guy's playing solo. How about we not match him against a full party or a party of 4 fucking sweats on the enemy team while he's playing solo? And then, you know, we put Timmy No Thumbs on his team. Like, if you get so good in Call of Duty, at a certain point, you're going to have the worst players ever on your team. And you're going to be facing, like, literal
like, this
clones
is one of
yourself.
like the big issues about being good at video games. When you get good enough, you get punished for being good. This isn't new to Call of Duty, by the way. Like, this has been in Call of Duty for a while. Like, you go back to like OG Modern Warfare 2. If you were a good player, you got put into lobbies with people on the other team were freaking, you know, straight up, you know, prestige masters and just great players, and your team sucked because the algorithm felt like if you're good, you can carry. And it's not a fair way to balance out a game. You shouldn't be punished for being good. Even when it comes to like how the games themselves work. You know, lag compensation was invented because they wanted to find a way to punish people who have good internet. Say, hey, you have good internet. That's not fair. So we're going to introduce lag comps. People with bad internet can get a more level playing field. So you're being punished for having good internet. You know, a lot of games introduce mechanics and things that kind of like make it harder for good people, for good players, people with good internet, because they just feel like it's not fair that you're good at the game. Or it's not fair that you have good internet. So we got to find a way to nerf you to make it more fair and balanced. So to nerf you in this kind of like context, it will be here's a bunch of players on your team who don't know right from left, don't know like any sound cues, can barely aim their gun. You know, they watch a YouTube video on how to freaking on what attachments go where. So they're just going with the flow, and now you don't know who's gonna go positive, and they all might leave. You might be in a game where it's gonna turn into a 6v2 because they're all getting stumped, and now they all are gonna leave.
But in a party, you will be designed like it's designed to make you lose. It's inexcusable, man. It's inexcusable.
It's it. Punished.
So while I
being
can
good.
praise Nuketown for basically saving Black Ops 6 for me personally, we have to realize that the people that, you know, aren't using VPNs and are just playing solo or maybe with a couple other friends or whatever, they're trying to play casually, are probably having the worst fucking time ever, and they're contemplating quitting the entire game. It's that bad.
Y'all literally watched me uninstall Black Ops like 2 streams ago. On stream, we uninstalled Black Ops. And we reinstalled it after I freaking calmed the fuck down, went to go play zombies with my buddies. But like, I literally uninstalled the game on because I was just tired of it. It's these games, they're punishing you for being a good player.
And like, the solution is so simple. Can we make just a mercenary playlist? You know, I actually,
You know what's funny about this comment? It used to be a thing. They used to have mercenary in Call of Duty. That's all I played in Modern Warfare 2 at the while. Like, after a while, Modern Warfare 2, I got so tired of how the matchmaking worked, where it's like, okay, we're gonna give you a team of trash cans. I just started playing mercenary, you know, and like this is before I joined UTX. So therefore, when it came to me playing games online, I didn't really play games online with anyone else because at that time, Modern Warfare 2 didn't really have many friends who played the same games as me until, you know, pretty much a year later, where friends in high school started playing Black Ops 1 with them. Then Black Ops 2, I joined UTX, so I was always reading it in a full stack. But like in Modern Warfare 2, I was playing the game, do good, and get these lobbies where the other team cracked out of their freaking minds. No shade to them. Then my team, all trash cans. So I was just like, fuck it. I'm tired of playing against freaking full stacks who are freaking, you know, cracked out of their freaking mind. I'm just gonna play mercenary, and that's all I played until Black Ops 1 came out. It's just mercenary non-freaking stop. And the way it worked was you literally could not be in a party chat. When you play mercenary Modern Warfare 2, a thing will pop up on your screen saying, you know, no party chats. If you are in the party chat, even if your party chat talks to someone else who's not playing the game same against you, it will literally kick you out of the party and put you in the game chat because it doesn't want you to be in the party at all, even when it comes to like communication. Why they got rid of mercenary, I don't know. Like it's weird. It sounds like bare bones. Like now Black Ops 6 has mosh pit, but like you don't need, you know, mosh pit to be in those small matches. You could just have a regular playlist of like bare bones from Black Ops 1. Bare bones in Black Ops 1 was a game mode where you had no attachments, you had no perks, you just gun on gun, have at it. You know, so like there's modes that Call of Duty used to have they removed that could be an answer to a lot of the issues people have. You know, he said mercenary, like I said, makes it to where everyone's a solo player. You can't be in a party in mercenary game mode. Why isn't that a thing? You know, when we do have like it's kind of funny. Shooters used to be very, very solo friendly, but now they're very, very solo, you know, anti-solo and team friendly. MMOs used to be very, very team friendly and just didn't care about solo players. Whereas like there's now a shift. MMOs are now very, very, very casual for solos. You can play most MMOs nowadays as solo and have, you know, no problems. So back in the day, you kind of had to be in a guild, you had to have a team, and things like that. It's like there's like this gaming shift in shooters. You pretty much can't play these games unless you had a full stack. Otherwise, you just have a miserable freaking time.
I'm not even kidding you guys. I would not even mind SBMM so much if it was just, you're going to match me with the good players? Fine. But make sure they're not in a party doing MLG callouts and they're not all good while I...
This is a very, very soon pause. I said basically the exact same thing on Threads a few weeks ago. Where I was like, I want the smoke. I'm a competitive person. I'm a good player. I want to play against good players. But I want my team to be good too. I don't want to play a game where my team, you know, are glue eaters who don't know where they're going or what they're doing, and I gotta freaking pretty much just carry the entirety of the game or I can't get wins. I want the smoke. Like I have multiple videos on YouTube where I talk about how I don't mind SBMM because I'm a competitive person and I want the smoke. But again, the way some of these games of Call of Duty work is they give you shitty players because they think that, okay, well, you're a good player, carry these guys. And it's like nobody wants to freaking do that every game. Here and there, sure, you're okay with it because it's just matchmaking. But every game, you don't deal with that. You don't want to deal with playing against, you know, a stack of tryhards and your team is licking freaking poles.
I have a team of people that are sucking their thumbs in spawn. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to play like this match of X Defiant here. I like a good close game. I actually prefer close games because I find them more fun. I'm not kidding. In X Defiant, I prefer close matches. I prefer matches where both teams are playing the objective. It is the most fun I have ever had in a shooter. And I'm not kidding with that. Like, when you have two teams, just maybe it's not even like a serious match, obviously, but like two teams on X Defiant where everyone's varying skill levels, but they're all trying to win and they're all playing the objective. It's truly fun. It doesn't feel sweaty. I mean, if you want to look at this gameplay and say, this is a sweaty gameplay, I don't think so. It is a, you know, competitive, close game, and it's fun. I don't know what else to say other than that. Call of Duty, guys, it's just not designed for any sort of competitiveness out of the box. It never has been. It never will be. And skill-based matchmaking, I mean, you start seeing every fucking flaw if you are even remotely good at Call of Duty, because it's trying to make it a competitive game when it's not a competitive game at all. And then you get instances like today where Charlie Intel, a Modern Warfare 2 Ghost, Nero, people that have been playing Call of Duty for ages are not having fun on this classic map because the map's not designed for people above 1 KD. And like, I actually had a lot of comments in yesterday's video talking about my about newer players, not very good players, saying this is the most fun they've had on Call of Duty in a long time. And I'm sure it is. I'm actually sure it is. And I'm happy for you guys. I really am. I envy you. I really, really do. When you're in that lower bracket, you're just there to play, man. You know, you're not caring about stats or trying to get better or whatever. But that's kind of the problem. I don't really play like a casual player. I like to see improvement. I like to get better at something. I like to drop a 50 bomb against somebody else on the other team dropping a 50 bomb and have it be a close competitive match. But it feels fair at the same time. Does that make sense? Anyway, guys, I'm out of time. I rambled quite a bit. Call of Duty needs to do something about the matchmaking. If they're not going to change the SBMM, change the party size parameters, put in a mercenary mode where only...
Yeah, there's always a solution to like things you can do for the game. Like I said, this is just one video, but you know, about Call of Duty right here, this is more about zombies, but you know, this is the worst Call of Duties from the same person. Nero's 6,000 people watched it, had some major problems. I watched a video yesterday. We're not gonna watch it today, but I watched a video yesterday that went into detail about why, you know, you're having issues with the TTK and in the TTD, which is, you know, time to player death. You have TTK and total time to kill, then total time to death, TTD. So basically like how long it takes for you to die, how long it takes for you to get the kills. They want like detail on what's happening with that and why it's a problem in Call of Duty right now. So that I talk about a lot in my streams is what, you know, the time to kill is inconsistent, the time to die is inconsistent. There's a lot of inconsistent and random gunfights. It just doesn't make freaking logical sense. So there's videos that go into detail talk about this stuff, and y'all if you're interested, you should watch, you know, those videos, you know, to see, because it's not people, you know, just being baby back bitches because this or that happened. There's actual issues with the game that they enjoy playing. Because I would say this, people talk about games that they love. They don't. If you don't like something, you ignore it. So if you have vested interests, you want it to be better. So people make, like Blaine Truth, make these videos because they want the game to be better. They want to be able to enjoy the game, you know? So when I mention like X Defiant having trash netcode, I'm not being an X Defiant hater. I like X Defiant. I want it to be better. And one of the ways for it to be better is having a better netcode. Black Ops 6 is a very enjoyable game, but because of how shit the servers are, how crappy the matchmaking is, and how inconsistent the gunplay is, it's hard to enjoy it. You know, you should never have to run to hardcore mode to get decent, you know, gunfights. It's not how that should work. You shouldn't have to run to a hardcore mode in any game, especially if you're someone who don't even like hardcore. Like you prefer core modes, but you run to hardcore mode because the gunfighting in regular core is so inconsistent and trash where you just like, fuck it. You know, it's the equivalent of like playing Halo, and like the gunplay is so bad you go play SWAT. It's like, fuck, I just go play SWAT. this will be satisfying enough. Let's get into Smash.